good evening. Welcome to this week's Voice Links. Joining me on the panel, Nicholas James, is Rachel Penny, Kerry Gillespie, and Mike. As we discussed this week, we have that well-known discussion that's been happening all week about Holly and Phil and Holly. Sorry, I'm pronouncing the old presenters. Phil and Holly as they cut the queue to go and see the Queen's coffin. But we'll see what we have to say about that. Also, we discussed about a mother-in-law that gets crashed all over the internet this week because she asked her son-in-law if she could have a lick of his ice cream. So we talk about, are we good at sharing when we're older, and are we too good in it when we're kids? And we finish on the subject of Christmas. Believe it or not, it's come up in the news this week. But when you hear Christmas in September, does it make you excited, or does it turn you into a grumpy Grinch? Find out all what we've got to say on this week's Loose Links. Good evening, panel. Hi, good evening, everybody. How is everybody? Are we all right? Rachel, 3 weeks running.
Well, it's not my fault. I'm sorry. Everybody's getting fed up with looking at this.
3 weeks running. You really are the queen, aren't you?
I'm looking older and tired.
Because I put so much pressure on you. Kerry, it's good to see you back. It's been a while since we've seen that beautiful face.
You never said that to me.
There's a reason for that.
Well, Mike, it's good to see you. Obviously, before we start the show this evening, we'd like to send our condolences over to the royal family. The funeral yesterday was absolutely beautiful. I don't think they could have done it any better. BBC covered it really, really well. I was at a friend's house and I watched it all on BBC, and I just thought it was amazing. It was really, really incredible. But let's get on to this week. So talking about Queen is our first subject. So crowds of the Queen have waited hours and hours outside Winster Hall this week, wearing dark clothing to represent mourning, really. But there's been two celebrities that have been very, very named this week, and that is Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby were sent at the lying in state in Parliament on Friday. There was outrage from who believed the hosts of ITV this morning's programme had somehow managed to jump the queue on Friday, while others had to wait for hours on end, including David Beckham. This Morning said the pair were just there doing their job as broadcasters and were filming ahead for a piece to be aired after the funeral. In a statement on Instagram, we asked Philip and Holly how they felt about it, and they didn't want to discuss. I've got a little video to show you guys. See what you guys think of this.
ITV has since stepped in to defend the duo, stating they were there to film a segment for this morning. However, fans who witnessed Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield arriving at Westminster Abbey believed they had queue jumped rather than waiting with the members of the public, who had been standing in the queue for hours. On Saturday, ITV released a statement on social media where they explained why the pair were there. The statement read, "Hello everyone, we would like to clarify something. We asked Philip and Holly to be part of a film for Tuesday's programme. They did not jump the queue, or have VIP access or file past the Queen lying in state, but instead were there in a professional capacity as part of the world's media to report on the event." An ITV spokesperson also confirmed to Express.co.uk, "This morning had press accreditation, and like other media, Philip and Holly were escorted to work from the press gallery by government staff. They did not file past the Queen's coffin. They were there alongside a host of other broadcasters and national press outlets for an item that will be broadcast on Tuesday's show. Any allegations of improper behaviour are categorically untrue." Despite ITV's statement, fans have been left outraged and many took to social media to share their thoughts. Some This Morning fans have called for the presenters to be sacked, while others have threatened to boycott the programme. one fan called Laura Harrison has taken it one step further and has set up a petition to have Holly and Philip removed from screens permanently.
So that's just a little bit of the video of what they were saying. Are we shocked by the Holly and Phil statement of what they did for TV? Do you think they were right to bypass the queue and to go straight through the doors?
I
Oh, it's
can't
a
believe all
difficult
of
one.
that. I really can't. You know, it's yeah, David Beckham did the thing. He wasn't, but he's not in the limelight at the moment. He probably didn't. He could probably manage to queue up for 12 odd hours, and why not all credit to him? But quite honestly, there's enough going on without having to slaughter these two for doing their job. And how could they possibly do the job if they're waiting for 12, 18 hours in a queue? It's ludicrous. I don't know why people are making such a fuss. It's ridiculous.
Do you think though, when it comes to something as big and worldly as this, so as it's stated that it's been all over TikTok quite recently. There are other social medias available, but it's been all over TikTok quite recently that Sharon Osbourne is queued up, that David Beckham had queued up, that well-known celebrities have queued up. Now, I understand that they've done it in the name of television, but did they really need to film from actual London, or could they discuss it from the ITV studios? And do you think when something worldly happens like this, that celebrities shouldn't be favoured upon, shouldn't be looked at as getting in quite quickly and quite earlier than everybody else? And actually, they're only human beings by the end of the day. So should they have waited those 12 hours, 24 hours that people have been waiting?
The thing is, isn't it, if they've done it for ITV, then something will be on this week, like they've said, and they're going to be reporting on it, or whatever they said they were going to do. If nothing comes out of that, then in all fairness, they should have just queued up like everybody else to pay the respects. Nobody's better than anybody else. If they're doing a job and the media and stuff, I mean, I don't recall seeing any other media that close, like your photographers and all stuff like that. I don't recall seeing any of them in that close or in the vicinity. They were all outside. But doesn't make, just because they're a presenter, it doesn't make them any different. Everyone's shit smells the same, as they say. Sorry.
Language there.
Sorry, but it doesn't make them any more important, does it? If they're doing it for, sorry, do you know, I wasn't really in proper thought process then. I apologize, but I still stand by what I said.
Kerry.
Eh?
I interpret it. It's a great leveler.
Sorry.
Are you shocked at what press are now saying, that people are signing a petition for Holly and Phil to come off screens, and even the rumour of boycotting this morning's show because of what they have done?
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? I think, a bit like what Kerry said, is that, in a slightly broader sense, is that, we're all the same. And I get that. And I think that is what is probably upsetting the public the most, isn't it? That we've seen people like David Beckham, who stood in the queue, irrelevant of whether he's in the limelight or not. And I guess it is such a big event, isn't it? And there's been such sadness and mourning for what the Queen represents and for what she did represent and who she was. So to see them sort of jump straight to the front, and I guess it's maybe a classic example where big broadcasting companies haven't actually thought of the sensitivity behind it. and they've just pushed on through at ITV. And actually the result of that is Holly and Phil are the face of that. So I think it's a little bit extreme that we're asking them to boycott. They'll be following what their command says, won't we, really? We've got a slot. And it's a bit like you said, Rachel, really in the world that we've got. But if I'm honest with you, Nick, I don't take the story too serious, because I actually don't think anything will happen to Holly and Phil. They've probably had this happen to them several times in the career where somebody's disagreed with them. And that's part of being in the limelight, isn't it?
Yeah, I do get about, well, they are broadcasters and they are journalists and they are people in the news every single day. So I do get why, and I do feel a bit sorry for Holly and Vern, because it's Holly and Phil. I keep saying Vern, Holly and Phil, because it's not like they've said, right, I'm going in. It's ITV telling them to go in. Right, this is what you need to be doing. This is your job, to go in. So the question is to me, why are ITV being blamed? Why is it so much on two people that have been told what to do in their job?
It's frustrating, isn't it? Because actually, it's about people taking, I don't know how to describe it, but I guess it's almost like somebody profiting over somebody's death. That's what's bothering me more. Like, oh, who's going to get the closer clip? Is it going to be BBC? Because if it hadn't been ITV, it would have been BBC with someone on their TV shows, wouldn't there? If it had not been BBC, maybe it'd been Sky, maybe it'd been Fox News, I don't know, whoever. Now, obviously that's a foreign broadcasting company, but they were all fighting to get that feel, that connection, aren't they, of the morning, because it's such a big focus for TV right now. But I just think it's more, for me, I think I'm more bothered about just how insensitive it feels, really, rather than person specific. No, that don't really sort of bring in the debate you want to bring, Nick, because I guess I'm shooting it down, but that's just how I see it, really. And I just think, really, TikTok have done a thing, and other social media, that there's a boycott by a loyal fan. Well, for every one loyal fan, there'll be thousands out there, won't they? I'm sure Phil and Holly are sat at home and they're feeling pretty secure in their jobs.
The thing is, though, when you think about stuff like this, so, well, you don't really think about stuff like this. That's the wrong sentence to use. But like the mourning and the passing of our Queen, really. Do you think that we really need to think about those sort of situations and celebrities and stuff like that? Celebrities are up there in the world. We all feel starstruck by somebody that we meet and stuff like that. But when it's something like this, is it almost like going back a couple of decades where there was upper class and lower class, and so many people, so these people can get in, but these people have to stand over here and queue for hours on end? And I think what was absolutely heart touching was David Beckham was offered, do you want to go straight through? And he said, no. I'm quite happy to queue. I'm quite happy. I'll stand here for as long as these people stand here for. But do you think it's almost like we're slipping back into that upper class, lower class of generations?
With one thing about Holly and Phil, no. I just think, listen, if ITV is saying they're doing it because it's going to be put on the TV this week, they're doing the job, end of. If you were going to tell me that, like, every celebrity that wanted to pay their respects got bumped in the queue, then yeah, I'd probably agree with that comment. But these are two people out of how many?
But I only slightly disagree, because the celebrities are getting those opportunities. So as I just said, David Beckham was asked, would you like to pass the queue and come straight through? And I'm sure every celebrity that stood there, if David Beckham was asked, the likes of Sharon Osbourne turning up and stuff like that, they're going to be asked, aren't they? Would you like to come straight through instead of queue up? It's only been the celebrities that have said, no, I'm quite happy to stand in the background and quiet. But imagine you being in that position. So you're a well-known person in the world, and there's hours of waiting to see the Queen, and you're asked, well, not to see the Queen, sorry, to see the Queen's coffin, and you're asked, would you like to bypass this queue and go straight in? Could you honestly say
Yeah,
with
and
your
that's
hand
and
on
that's what I said before. What makes people so different? We all die. We all end up in a bloody box. We're all the same at the end of the day. That question will only be asked because they are in the limelight. They are on TV. They are this. They are that. That's the only reason. But you know, I mean, you touched on David Beckham saying now, because he's basically said exactly what he's just like everybody bloody else. And I bet, yeah, loads of people didn't come to him and irritate him or do his head in because people were going to pay respect. The funeral was not just queuing up for something else, was it? It was to pay respects, and people have respect for everybody else by the sounds of it.
Do you think it was? Let's go to you, Rachel. Do you think it was disgusting though that the celebrities were asked that they could boycott the queue and just go straight in?
Well, yes, I don't think they should have been asked it. That is insensitive because, as I said earlier, it is a big level of this is of humanity, because you come into the world the same, probably not royalty, obviously, but we go out the same. We are. The thing is, with celebrities, there are different types of celebrities. You know, there's the A's, B's, and right down there Z's, I presume. But there's some that could have caused a bit more of a furore in the queue and taken away a little bit of respect that was needed. So, you know, I think quite honestly, with Holly and Philip, I think they always come across as quite human people, you know, with basic needs like all of us, and quite vulnerable at times, and I think they'd be quite, you know, upset by all this, and I don't think they would have meant to have done that. They do a lot more good. They've done a lot more good over the years than they have done bad. And if this is a mistake, they'll have to hold their hands up to it. But if it was a job, I really can't understand all this stink that's come up, and we're talking about it now. That's disrespectful on a day like this as well. Quite honestly, you know, I don't think it should be given airtime. Quite honestly, because it's bringing more attention to it.
Comes down to a lot of the time, doesn't it? That, you know, I think, you know, well, there's three tiers to it. A celebrity is just a person. They're a person that's become successful, haven't they? When you look at the royal family in classist approach, or classism, that's the correct term, there is always going to be a higher class and a lower class. And even into the way of the funeral, you look at the Queen's funeral, and obviously she represents so much. So I'm not at all for one moment having I am having a view, but I understand why it was how it was. But if you look at the layout from all the old prime ministers coming and everybody sitting in a certain space, it's a controlled function because of the risk that it carries, isn't it? There's a degree of risk. You know, we saw people shouting in the queues abuse to the son around his potential previous experiences, and you know, that is it, isn't it? And I think that's the same thing when they put celebrities in the queues. What you're saying, Rachel, you know, would it take away from the mourning? But I think we as a society are becoming, I think classism and celebrities are two different things. And I think, like David Beckham, yeah, okay, there were some articles about him being in the press, but you didn't really see social media going mad, did you? Because I think we've become less, I don't know, it seems to be, every time I come on I talk about the pandemic, but since the pandemic it does feel like a lot of people see things differently. And in Kerry's words, you know, we're all the same, you know, we all have the same bodily functions. So it's let's just help you out for future there, Kerry. So, you know, it is about that, isn't it? So I just think, yeah, but I do understand why we have a classism still with the royal family. But even that, you know, the Queen represented so much, didn't she? She changed so many dimensions to classism, the way she engaged with the community, what she did for women's rights, what she did for equality and diversity with ethnic minorities, you know, and she did do a lot. So I think she tried to break what she could break through her life, and all respect to her. But we're always going to have classism with the royal family because they're the royal family.
Well, let's just go back to, because it'd be quite interesting, because obviously this has been in news as well. So this isn't just my opinion coming out. Please, none of you shout me down. It's literally been in the news. So it'd be really good to hear your expression of it. So as Holly and Phil went in, obviously Phil went in a suit and Holly was in black. But Holly has been called up for wearing a mask. Now, she's been called up for wearing a mask because a lot of people are saying, which I don't agree with, but let's just go down this road. A lot of people are saying COVID is now finished, and they feel that she wore a mask to be noted, to be seen, to be have a picture of her, to stand out almost. What do you think about that? What do you think about press talking about she only wore a mask so she would be photographed?
I really don't
Kind
give
of
a
rubbish,
hoot.
isn't it, really?
I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap if she wore a mask or
Gary,
not.
can we stop talking about toiletries, please?
I'm full of it tonight, mate. Who cares if she wore a bloody mask? This is sometimes why I absolutely can't stand the media, and I very rarely watch news, and I don't buy newspapers because they just talk all over the tosh. To be honest, who cares? Next question.
Actually, one thing you did notice that she was wearing a mask. When you looked at everybody else, you thought, oh, she's wearing a mask, which is quite strange, because it was weird at one point last year that if you didn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Maybe she's got COVID.
Oh, don't say that. Yeah, it worries me that Prince Charles is shaking so many hands, because I think all we bloody need next is for him to have COVID and pop his clogs. That's all we bloody need at the moment.
You mean King Charles, not Prince Charles?
King Charles. Yeah, I still haven't got my head around that. I haven't got my head around it at all. But what did you think, Mike? Oh, come on, Rachel.
I think it's all quite ridiculous, making a thing of Holly and Phil, and the thing is, possibly you don't know what her home life's like. She's got a vulnerable adult at home, mixing with all those people, and you don't know, do you? So we've still got choice. We've still got, we can do what we like, really, still, in the country, and I find it bizarre that we're making the media has made a big thing of it. I really do.
What do you think about it, Mike? Are you quite horrified by the story of that actually, not just Holly and Phil, but Holly's made more press by coming in a mask, and people are now stating that she only came in a mask not because of COVID, but to be recognised and to have a picture taken of her?
I'm sorry, I can't take it very seriously. Am I horrified? I think that's a very, I'm trying to think, should I be acting horrified to play the opposite party for us tonight to get things heated up? But no, it's, no, I'm not horrified. I'm not particularly losing any sleep. I did notice actually myself, I'll be lying if I say that didn't come through my mind thinking, oh, she was wearing a mask. But yeah, just the same as what the girls have said, at the end of the day, there's lots of reasons for it. And no real thoughts on this one, I'm afraid, Nick.
Well, have you also out there, remember you are the fifth panel member out there, do you think Holly Willoughby really wore a mask to be noticed as she walks to pay her respects and do television for the Queen? Also, do you think Holly and Phil should have waited those hours, or do you think it was just part of their job and ITV needs to be looked at more than the actual presenters? Have your say. Make sure there are many ways you can get in touch with us on our polls. Our polls are back this week. Obviously, we've had a couple of special shows recently, so we've not been able to do polls, but our polls are back this week and they will be revealed in the next show. So have your say. Make sure you have your say. So let's go on a bit of a different topic here. Let's go on about one of my favourite topics is about food. So let's talk about food and how it's made it into the press this week. So an amateur bodybuilder who enjoys an ice cream as a cheat day treat says he ended up on the wrong side of his mother-in-law after refusing to let her lick his ice cream stick. He bought.
Oh,
He bought an ice cream for himself, his wife, and his mother-in-law to enjoy during a movie night in, expecting their each stick to be their own. However, when he was halfway through his, I can't read this story. However, when he was halfway through his own stick, his mother-in-law asked, Rachel, stop it. His mother-in-law asked, could she try a lick of his? He politely declined. Telling her there was more of the same flavour in the freezer. But she was persistent, explaining that she just wanted to taste and not the whole stick. So, are you good at sharing food?
God, we.
oh.
The press are
Wait till
getting
you
desperate
die.
here, aren't they? When this is the press that a man is upset. I mean, I can't blame him. I'm not going to lie to you. I won't want anyone licking my ice cream. You know,
Oh, please, you said ice cream, Mike. I'm so pleased you said ice cream.
No, I won't want anybody licking my ice cream. I don't share my food with anyone. Probably doesn't surprise anyone. But no, my friends even laugh about it from a young age. They've got photographs of me where I was sulking if they asked to one of my sweets at school. But I were a little fat kid, really. I'm probably going to get us barred off here tonight. And I'm a big believer in it. No, I say to anyone, if you want your ice cream, go on, cocker. There it is. It's in the freezer.
Do you think the man had a point then? Do you think actually?
Yeah, it's dirty. Why would you say to your mother-in-law on a night where you're all sat watching a film, you know, y'all love, have a lick of me Magnum or have a lick of me, I don't know. It's just, no, I agree with you completely. And I tell you what, if that's his bad day, if that's his bad day, by God, I need to get myself sorted because I don't know what my bad day is if that's his bad day.
Do you agree, Kerry? Are you one for not sharing food? Touch my food, feel my fork. Are you that sort of person?
I don't like sharing drinks. Can't do drinks if I've got a can or bottle of pop. I can't share. Don't like that. Don't mind saying I have a bit of me food, but not a lolly ice. I mean, when I read this news story, you know, they had to put in bodybuilder, cheat day, ice cream. It'd be a bit different if it was Jimmy from Skegness and his mother-in-law wanted a lick of his ice cream. Everyone would be reading it thinking, you creepy sod.
They would, wouldn't they?
What's going on there?
If he'd been coming on with his 99 Kerry A-Love and he'd been up at the seaside with his flake and his strawberry sauce.
Yeah, my mother-in-law wanted a lick of my strawberry sauce and my flake. And you'd be like that, mate, that's just wrong and creepy. But they put bodybuilder, cheat down, you're thinking, well, actually, is it even any better? No, it's not, is it really?
Rachel, are you good at sharing your stick?
I don't like ice cream. But I wish I had a son-in-law that had a big lolly. Asked you to share that. But no, what a ridiculous topic. Do you know, I think they've got some ridiculous people that
Rachel, you told me light and fluffy.
Oh gosh, I do like light and fluffy, but I have to reapply my makeup now, and I look like Kiss with the makeup tonight. Oh dear me. No, I've got a friend actually who's got I think, how many brothers has she got? 3 brothers. 3 brothers? 3 brothers. And she doesn't share food at all, if you're listening, Karen. And she said she grew up with all these brothers and it was survival of the fittest. So I think if you tried to nick a chip, she'd stab you with a fork. It's not bad, but I don't think she'd let anybody lick her lolly at all.
I must admit, you know, like when you've been for a drink on a night out and you go for that kebab and chips, it is really into it's or a pizza than whatever you're eating, Rachel. But you know, a fresh salad if you can get one at 2 a.m. But what I'm saying is it is like survival of the fittest, isn't it? I mean, I remember my friends saying to me when someone took my chips once, I looked like I was going to kill them. I mean, not that I can remember it, but yeah, I can see the outrage with this more than Holly and Phil.
It's like when you get something now and you put it in your cupboard and you think, oh, I'll have that tonight. And you go to your cupboard or your fridge and you think, what little sod's nick me packet of crisp or biscuit or whatever it is that I've got.
They don't even leave you one, do they? Not the one. Just the crumbs.
Just the empty tub.
Yeah, and then you think to yourself, did I buy those yesterday or did I not? Nothing's left. No,
But
but
do
I'm
you
a
think?
sharer.
Go
I am
on,
a
Rach.
sharer, aren't I, Nick? I am a sharer.
Slightly.
I am. Well, you take, but I don't put up much of a fight. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Do you think
Awkward
though?
now.
Do you think when we come to childhood and sharing and stuff like that, do you think if you've had siblings in your life, do you think you're a couple of steps ahead of maybe being an only child and learning to share, taking the share? And actually, let's go for that question first. Do you think it's easier for children with siblings to learn the concept of sharing than somebody that's an only child?
No.
Oh, go on, Heather, why? Why do you think that?
Because I'm an only child.
Right, okay. Now you're good at sharing.
When I was a kid, I hated any child visiting my house, touching my toys. Hated it. But that was a child, that's a kid thing. I was only really young, but I was brought up to know that it's the right thing to do is share. If I seen someone, I might not give them mine, but I might go and buy them something.
Terry, you still like that as an adult to walk through your door, right? Don't touch anything, Nick. Just sit in that corner. Don't say a word. You want some water? I might give you some water. But
I think it is because I think about sharing. Surely, I think of siblings. My siblings go and nick one of the other siblings something else, and then it all causes a big kick off and fight. And you're thinking, so now it's all. What springs to my mind is phone chargers. That's my phone charger. Well, I need to charge my phone. Yeah, but that's my charger, and I want it back. Yeah, but I need to charge my phone. So actually, there could be a bit more confrontation with siblings. I don't know if anyone, either Mike or Rachel, can answer that.
It reminds me, Gary, when I come round and go, can I have a coffee, please? And you go, yeah, you put one teaspoon in and put it back. And I go, can I have another teaspoon? And your eyes raise up to the ceiling. And,
I'm making you the coffee, but I'm not being funny. Everything's expensive now. And it's on rations when you come round here. Fucking rations.
What do you think, Mike? Because without discussing your profession, you must see quite a lot of the learning of sharing and stuff like that. Do you think it is more difficult for an only child, or maybe on your own experience? Have you got siblings?
Yeah, I've got a sibling, and no, he used to steal everything. And I remember, he used to, if we had it, do you remember like advent calendars that you got when you were kids, chocolate out? Maybe that's there we go again, the unhealthiness of me. Chocolate advent calendars. And he used to take the calendars and he'd eat them behind the couch. And I remember it with such venom. You know what I mean? I'd go to my calendar, he was that type of kid that then I'd put the box back and make it look like one of them had been touched, and then I'd open the calendar door, and there'd be no chocolate. I mean, can you imagine how devastating that is for I can't really say it because it will probably get slammed, but for a certain type of child with a sweet tooth, it's quite heartbreaking, taking kids to do that. So no, I learned very quickly, hide everything from him, and I mean, even as a teenager, he used to go in and exactly everything you were saying, Kerry. So no, I think probably as an only child, I'd like to think you'd be able to share a bit better because you'll have a
are you still there, Mike?
on whether you do it.
Oh, we lost
like
you
Rachel's
then.
friend,
We lost you.
stabbing him
You're
in the hand
back.
with a fork.
We lost you. Are you still with us?
I was saying, I think I'd be like Rachel's friend, where I'd be stabbing somebody in the hand with a fork.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's all a learning thing, whether you've got a sibling or not. If you're on your own, only child, I think you all have to learn the art of sharing. Like my grandson Alfie with his cousin Louis, and they get on so well, but just lately, you know, that Alfie will stare at him as though to say, I brought that fire engine out, and he intimidates him until he cries, and then he'll give it up. But no, they all do learn, because the next day they see each other and then they're fine. You know, they've learned. But yeah.
Do you think as we get older though, so let's talk about sharing in a very different way. Do you think as we get older and we get hurt and we get attacked by people and we get blown back and all of that, do you think as we get older, when it comes to sharing, so let's have another way of looking at sharing, as we get older, do you think we become more selfish of ourselves and our own lives? And actually, the thought, I'm not saying we don't think of other people, but like, pure example for me, I've lived on my own now 6-7 years, and actually I love, Mum, if you're watching, I'm very sorry to like bring you up on this, but I love my mum coming round, don't get me wrong, and I love her staying the night, but my word, I am ready for her to leave that front door the next day. I am ready for her to disappear and go home. And I think that's selfish as me, because actually I can't watch what I want on the television. I can't go to bed. I've got to be up at a certain time because somebody else is in the house. Do you think that we become more selfish when we're older? Let's go to you, Rachel.
Oh, please. No, I don't think we get more selfish. I think we probably feel justified in wanting our own space when we get, like I am, tired and knackered and run down and needing a bit of space. But I love my family around me, and you know, I do enjoy family, but I do think that we don't oh, what am I trying to say here? I think we get to the point where we put other people first before ourselves, really. But it's nice to have some quiet time later on, you know, when everything has been done and dusted and you've sorted the family out first. But I think anything that children learn from the family is precious. And I think family time to, I can't really, I'm not very eloquent tonight. I know what I want to say, but I can't really.
I think the thing is as well, though, when you're saying about sharing, do we become selfish? I'd probably say with regards to that, when we get older, we just can't probably see people through they are, and the ones that would take and want to take off you all the time, we just see people quite differently. I mean, when I was young, when you're younger, you'd do anything and you'd help anyone and you'd, you know, give them whatever. But as you get older, you just think, you have a different outlook. You think, you know, you've been working for X amount of years to get where you are and what you've got. And if you've had someone lingering in the background, that's always, do you know what I mean, took off you or expected something off you, or what, you know, you see through that at the end of the day.
And that's what I'm kind of saying, that you got to a point in your life when you get a bit older. You've got everything in place. You've got people around you that won't take you for granted. You're not starting to grow up with, like in your teenage years, work years. When it got to the point where, like I am, I don't work anymore. I've got people around me that I know, I trust, and I know won't take me for granted. And we enhance each other's life, not make it difficult by, you know, not sharing, not caring, and you know, equal.
Mike, do you think in times though, as we get older as well, friendships become very different to what friendships were years ago? Are you a person that needs a lot of people around you, or are you a person that's quite happy to count who you trust on one hand?
Sorry, Nick, my signal's really poor tonight, so I'm dropping in and out a lot here. So can you just repeat that question for me, please?
Yeah, so we were just talking about, do you think friendships change as we get older? Are you a person that needs at your time of life now? Are you a person that needs a lot of people around you and a lot of people there? Or are you a person that's come to a place in your life where actually you could count on one hand the people you trust?
I think, yeah, I think as you get older, you do start to take, you do start to care less about,
Oh my
I
God.
guess, quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
No, you're still there, Mike. Keep talking. You're still there.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Oh, he's gone. Let's see if he
I was
comes back. Oh no, are you still there, Mike? Your camera's gone. We can hear you.
I'm
but
still
your
here.
camera's
I'm still
gone.
here. Oh, oh, okay. Well, I'll just answer the question. And I'll put my camera back on. So yeah,
Oh, we're losing him a bit. Rachel, do
have.
you hold on? Rachel, do you think it's really important to have loads of people around you, or just count on one hand how many people you have?
Well, I think that it's it gets to a point in your life when people do tend to drop off by the wayside. People, when you're at school, you have loads of friends, where you call them friends, and you know, it's a little bit different than when you are a lot younger. But I have some friends that I probably 5 or 6 friends that I count on, that I see regularly. So yeah, so I haven't got the energy to have any more anyway.
What about you, Kerry? Are you a big friend person, or are you quite keep your close people close and keep everybody else? Like we can get people that we can say we would say hello to, but actually, do you have a lot of people in your life that you trust, or is that very, very small?
It's not really about trust. I just don't like a lot of people. I like a certain amount of people. I can tolerate you, for instance. No, I don't like. I'm not hugely social like that. I don't need 1,000,001 mates.
No. Do you think that's changed over time? Have you always?
No. Yeah, I've always been like that. I don't particularly like generally.
Well, Kerry, you're the absolute icing on the cake tonight.
I know. I'm getting a migraine. I'm getting a bit of a migraine because I can't really see the screen. My eyes are going a bit funny.
Oh, well, we'll keep going. What about you, Mike? Let's see if we can now connect over to Mike live from Australia, because he keeps dipping out. What do you think? Do you think that you need a lot of friends around you, or can you be quite independent with those few people that you trust?
I used to like lots of friends around me. I used to be really, really sociable. I think I would argue that I still am sociable, but I just socialize with who I want to socialize with now. I just think I've learned probably in the last 3 to 4 years that not everybody is your friend. So I think large social groups, you get kind of like what I'd call a lot of cosmetic flaky people, you know, so they're just kind of there for that event. And I used to think that, you know, realistically everybody was there to be not best friend, but really people were there to be friends and stuff. So yeah, I've had to get my head around that quite a lot. But I think as you get older, it's more about quality over quantity, I would say. I've got a small handful of friends, and they're good friends, and that's all that matters.
Do you think, though, when we think about trust and we think about, you know, like that saying where we say that we let things fly over our heads and we bite our tongue and we do all that jazz to sometimes ease the situation, do you think we're more lenient when it comes to family than we are with friends? So if a friend came up to you and said something about you personally, are you more intimate to direct your complete true answer to your friend, and are you less when it comes to a family member? Do you let stuff bypass you a little bit more when it comes to family?
No, I think it's the opposite. I would say more to my family than I would to my friend because you know, your family always come back. I wouldn't have, it's probably a little bit two-faced, I suppose, but I wouldn't upset a friend unless it was really I needed to put them straight and I thought it was going to make things better. But if I didn't think something would be made better by me intervening or saying anything, I'd keep my mouth shut. But I'd always tell my family because they would take me in the right way.
What about you, Mike? Would you be a bit more lenient with a friend than a family member?
No, I would not. My friends will tell you I'm very straight John Ball. Yeah, and to my family as well. I'm quite a direct person. I'm a very caring person and I'll help anyone. I'm very loyal, but I don't tolerate no crap. That's just not who I am, I'm afraid. So yeah, and if the truth hurts, I can take the truth. But I'm also a believer in it's as simple as really. If if we're going to struggle with it, we're going to struggle with it. But I prefer to address it and move on and it be done.
Definitely. What about you, Kazi? Were you a little bit more lenient with a friend than a family member?
Yeah, probably.
You are.
Probably a little bit more lenient.
Only, I think we take for granted family sometimes, don't we? Because we know they're always there. So it's where a friend could actually just walk out your life forever and that's it. It's done. It's finished. And I'm not saying to anybody out there, because anybody can. It does happen, doesn't it, where family members do walk out of people's lives and never return again. But have your say. What do you think about sharing each other's sticks and making sure that everybody gets a bite into the ice cream? Are you good at sharing food or are you really not? Do you think it's easier to say goodbye to a family member than it is a friend? And do you think that we have to have a bit more understanding when it comes to family and friends? Have you also make sure you have your debate? Our polls will be up this week, but we turn on to our final subject, which I am really bar humbug about this. So get prepared, guys, because I really am not great with this. So the Drill Hall in Lincoln is gathering up for the return of the annual Christmas pantomime production in December. After a triumphant return from a COVID-induced break with Aladdin in 2021, Jamie Marcus is associated with the Drill Hall, will bring back a new production with a classic for this winter. Returning from the 5th of December until the 2nd of January, it will offer a fresh perspective on the new story and modern it up. Special effects, comedy and fun for all the family. When you hear about Christmas in September, does it just make you go, this is too bloody early to be talking about? I don't want to hear it. Let's start talking about Christmas in December.
We've had it for years now, so it doesn't faze me.
Doesn't bother you at all?
It's like this every year, isn't it? But the saying goes with, as soon as Christmas is over, you've got your Easter stuff out on the shops as well. It's just the norm. It doesn't make me worry. It's probably good. It probably just logs in my brain that, oh, Christmas is here, Kerry, soon. Don't leave it till the last week beforehand to get everything in like I normally do.
Are you a bit of a bar humbug, Rachel, or do you love it when all the Christmas stuff come in supermarkets and stuff like that at the beginning of September?
Well, I don't go into supermarkets really very often. But
we're all such a positive panel tonight.
Well, I think Christmas is a time for family. It's a time for, and I think a lot of probably people are a bit sick of it, seeing the family. They've been off work and over the last couple of years, and they want to get them out there. But I think we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of them because they're all going to be huddled around a twig with a candle by it, and
I'll be able to turn on the Christmas lights.
No, we'll not be able to come without having electricity on or anything.
I won't be plugging anything in. I won't. I'll be sitting around a candle. But I don't know. I think that I'm going to enjoy Christmas. I'm going to try to.
In
It's
September.
It's something to look forward to. But we're nearly at the end of September. There's October, November, and then you've got December. I do what I want to do, and I wouldn't start Christmas now. But if that's what the shops are going to be doing, I don't see the shop, so it doesn't faze me at all. I just do what I'm going to do. But I think sometimes people need something to look forward to, don't they? So they do their own thing.
Can I just say, I've got visions of Rachel sat.
Sorry.
Rachel sat like Tim. I've got a vision, Rachel, of you sat like Tiny Tim with a candle.
I'll be shivering. I'll be doing me. If I could do a star jump without wetting myself, I'll be doing those as well. Skip that warm.
But honestly, that's what me and Rachel were talking about it today. I've been to see Rachel today, and she says it won't be a Christmas tree. It'll be a twig from the garden with maybe a candle next to it. Merry Christmas. Are you a real Christmas being now, or do you turn into bar humbug? Let's go to you, Mike. Are you a real Christmas child? Do you love the build-up? Do you love Christmas Day? Do you love the family argument round a board game? The stress of Christmas dinner? Do you love it all?
I do like Christmas, yeah. I'm not bar humbug at all. I think there's I find like the buying element very stressful. Maybe that comes back to the sharing thing that we discussed earlier. But I do like Christmas, and I mean I love Halloween, to be honest with you. So I mean we haven't discussed Halloween yet, have we? So I like Halloween. I think it's a spooky time of year and things. So
I'll have to get you on the special for this year then, Mike, because we dress up and everything.
Oh God, well I don't do dress up, but what I'm saying is anyway. But yes, I look forward to Christmas, and I just think hopefully it'll be I don't know, will it be as special this year? I felt Christmas was really special last year, and I just wonder what it'll be like, whether everyone will slip back into old habits, because last year there was a lot of effort, wasn't there, that went into being with just one another for Christmas. People weren't worried about getting big gifts and stuff because the shops weren't necessarily open like they were and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I don't like it after Christmas though, sort of the lull of January and February, the sort of darker months. But
The
You won't be able to see us on here at Christmas anyway.
Well, oh no, we have Christmas. No, we're not doing Christmas this year. We're doing New Year. We're doing New Year this year, so get prepared. But do you think the real meaning? So I'm talking about the new generations, the millennials, as they're called, or whatever they're called now. I'm getting too old to remember all the names. But do you think the real meaning of Christmas has completely gone out the window, and it's all to do with presents and getting together, and actually we don't really remember the real meaning of Christmas anymore? It's completely disappeared, and it's just turned into a festival.
I think we're going to learn about it this year. There's not really I think the true meaning will probably come back this year a lot more than it has done over the last few years, because things aren't going to be in an abundance, are they? We're going to have to all claw back and draw back and back to basics, I suppose, just to make things spread and make things more meaningful, rather than just do it with money.
What do you think, Carrie? Do you agree?
Yeah, I've just said that. I agree. I think with Rachel, that's what it is. It is about, I suppose there's going to be a lot of people, like through COVID at Christmas, wasn't it? There's going to be a lot of people that, just might need, or might want to see people, or might need stuff. And it's just about doing that, isn't it? Not about throwing money at everything. Some people will throw money at stuff because everyone's different, and each to their own at the end of the day.
You didn't have to bark about it, Kerry. You just
Oh,
had
they're
to
doing me
talk.
head in.
That's all you had to do. You didn't have to bark about it.
Doing me head in, man.
What about you, Mike? Do you think the meaning has gone like even stripped back to the Christmas nativity? Do you think all of it and the meaning of it has completely gone?
No, I don't think they have. I think that's that bar humbugging you, Nick. I think it's just adapting and growing. But no, I think let's see. I think the meaning of Christmas has come back more powerful than ever over the last 2 Christmases because we weren't allowed one and then the other were restricted, weren't it? So it'll be interesting to see. I think before then, I think we all took it a bit for granted, didn't we? Like I know I'm thinking, I know it's a terrible way to look at it, but October and November and December salary, you're taking chunks out, aren't you, to pay for Christmas presents, that Lynx set that no one's going to use, or that good set, or that candle that Rachel's going to have. Hey, Rachel, you might use that candle this year. But you never know, do you?
You never know. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this week's show. It's been fun this week. I've quite enjoyed it. We've had various topics. We've had the Gillespie back and the Curtis on one show, which hasn't been there for a while. So it's good to have you. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you join us next week, same time, same place, for your favourite Loose of Lincolnshire at 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. Can you thank my panel for this evening? Joining me, Nicholas James, was Rachel Penny.
It'll be worth it next week because I won't be there.
Right, Curtis. And Kerry Gillespie.
Bye.
See you all very soon. Take care. Thanks for sharing your evening with us. And remember to stay loose. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.